Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League. We are here with our Sunday Championship, the most popular one that the Ultimate Racing League does. We've got six, I think, leagues now, and I'm with the League 3 guys. This is round 7, and we're in America, north of a place called Braselton in Georgia, and we're at Road Atlanta. A bit out of the way, this one. It's a bit in the middle of nowhere, but a good track nevertheless. 2.5 miles, 12 turns, including the famous S's, and we'll get a look at those as we follow the guys around. So after 10 minutes of qualifying, the guys put themselves on the grid, so let's have a look and see where everybody is, and then we'll get this race underway, shall we? So on pole positions is Hairy Poppins, Scott is second, Enzo Jack third, Frowny is fourth, Bazza is fifth, Viking sixth, Pete seventh, Phaser is eighth, Thingamajig ninth, Aussie Rooster is 10th on the grid, Dizzy Rip 11th, and 12th is DB. So 4 missing, God knows where they are. The bus that they were on must have broken down or took a wrong turn or something. Or maybe because it's such out the way, they just couldn't be bothered. Carried on through to Vegas and decided to go and gamble all their hard-earned money away. Who knows? Hopefully they'll be back next week, but for now, we're 4 missing. So we'll get the right camera angle on, and we'll get this race underway straight away. So rolling start, can't be words out. Rolling start as usual. A bit tricky for the ones at the back because like DBs, Dizzy Rip, Rooster, those sort of people, they're actually, they've got to negotiate turn 12 before they even cross the start finish line, but there you go, it's like that on some tracks. So Hairy Poppins takes us into turn 1. Not many corner names, in fact any corner names on this track that I can find, so we might make some up, we might not, I don't know. Through turn 1 into turn 2, and then we go down into this famous S's, and you can see when you do a long shot, you can see why it's called the S's. Now as they come through onto turn 5, I'll get there in a minute. You've got to be very careful on the right hand side, that is where you're going to pick a penalty up. Now this track is full of penalties, you really can't take any liberties with the track limits. You've really got to be careful, otherwise you will be picking penalties up, which can ruin your race. It's a very quick track, very flowing track, but as I say, penalties are very harsh here. So as the race gets underway, we're about halfway around this track now. Hairy Poppins, Scott, Enzo Jack, Frowny, Bazza, who we're following at the minute, in 5th. Then we've got Pete, Viking in 7th, Phaser in 8th, Aussie Rooster, Dizzy Rip, Thingamajig, and DB. Now down into the chicane at the bottom of the hill. They call this 10A and 10B. Why they don't call it 10 or 11 is beyond me, but it's 10A and 10B. And then we go through turn 11, and then turn 12 is the final turn before you cross the start finish line, which is right on the exit of turn 12 to start lap 2. So Hairy Poppins still out in front with Scott chasing him down. Bazza now up to 3rd. Oh, that got a bit touchy-feely there, didn't it? Let's just have a look and see what happened there. We'll use this drone cam, I like to call it. It's either that or the cameraman is really running very quickly behind them. But into turn 1 then, you can see Bazza, he had a bit of a look up the inside of Enzo Jack there. Enzo Jack went off and touched the grass, come back onto the track. Now he's side by side with Bazza into this tricky turn 2, and that's where it all got a bit touchy-feely, and poor old Enzo Jack ends up in the grass. And well, it's a bit of a climb back for him now. Where is it? Yeah, all the way down into 12th position. So yeah, long way back for him. Damage at the front as well, but these cars fitted with special nanobots that repair any kind of damage. It takes them about 30 seconds or so to do it, but they do get the car repaired while it's actually racing, which is a good thing. But you can see Enzo Jack, in his hurry to catch back up to the rest of the pack, has picked up a half a second already. So he's going to serve that. You can see the bar starting to fill up above the car, so he's going to serve that now. It's on this long back straight, 0.7 miles long this straight, actually, from the exit of turn 7 all the way down to the chicane, or the entry into the chicane. So good slipstreaming opportunity there. So back up to the top then. Harry Poppins, he's just opening up a little bit of a gap. Just put in the fastest lap on lap 3 there, 125.0. No, I said 130. So Harry Poppins looking to secure a win in race 1. Scott just staying with him for now. Then we've got Scott's teammate Bazza in 3rd, so it'd be good points for them if they can stay as it is now, both of them on the podium. Although gaps are starting to appear, as you can see from that shot there. Bazza just losing sight of the 2 guys in front of him. Frowney in 4th. In fact, let's jump on board with Frowney as we head down towards turn 6. Now turn 6 and turn 7 is a big, long, sweeping right-hander. It's almost one turn, one big hairpin. Got to be careful on the exit there. There's a lot of grass there. You don't want to be going out there. And then it is foot planted firmly on the noisy pedal for 0.79 of a mile all the way down this this straight. All the campsites left and right where all the fans park up. You can see all the tents there, the tent. Into the chicane then, hard on the brakes. A left, then a right. You've got to be very careful there as well on the exit of 10B into 1011. And Frowney made up so much ground through those turns. He was so much quicker, wasn't he? Pete just in the background. So Frowney having a bit of a look up the inside of Bazza there at turn 1. Couldn't quite get the job done, but a wise decision really, just to keep going. Oh, it's on the brakes again. I think that caught Frowney out a little bit. I don't think he expected Bazza to brake so early, and Bazza's picked up a half a second. Another section where you get penalties at that turn 2. So Pete, he's now down in 5th. Frowney, I think he's going to move up into P3 actually when Bazza serves his penalty. So as they come out of turn 7, if Frowney can get a good exit, which he has done. Now then, let's just have a look, shall we, as Frowney gets into the slipstream of Bazza just in front of him. Bazza staying to the left. He's going to serve his penalty. There he is. Good job he ghosted. The 2 cars went straight through him. I bet that's quite an experience. I mean, 2 Suzuki Swifts go straight through you. Not something you want, is it, really? So Frowney up into P3 then. Peter in P4. Bazza playing catch up now into P5. And as I say earlier, it's the penalties that can really ruin your race on this track. Viking in 6. Good to have him back and racing. Missed a few races over the Wednesdays and Sundays as Viking, but it's always good when he's on track. Very quick guy as well, so he'll be looking to make his way through the pack. Aussie Rooster, he's leading this little group of 3 for all fighting for P7. We've got Aussie in 7th, then we've got Dizzy Rip, and then we've got Thingamajig. Thingamajig actually does the commentary for the League of Champions, so that is always a fantastic watch. His enthusiasm is well, second to none actually, so I love watching the races that Thingamajig covers. So head over and check his site out at Thingamajig Racing Channel, and yeah, he covers the League of Champions, and fantastic racing and fantastic comms, so do go and check it out. At the minute though, he's sitting in 9th and chasing Dizzy Rip. Enzo Jack in 10th after his little episode, but made his way up into 10th now. Fraser in 11th, and then DB in 12th. Just starting to lose sight of the guys in front of him is DB, so he just needs to get a bit of a shake on and catch back up to the 2 guys in front of him. We'll just have a look to see how Harry Poppins is getting on, and he really is trying to stretch that lead, isn't he? Back to Scott, loving it out there is Harry Poppins. Scott in 2nd, he's sticking with him. The gap's there, but Scott's trying to maintain it. So Harry Poppins can't really relax at the minute, and as we've seen already, the slightest mistake will get you a penalty, and it's a place lost as Scott gets a purple sector in. Then we've got Frowney in third, Pete in fourth, and Bazza in fifth. Remember, Bazza was in third, wasn't he, until he got a penalty. So it is all about the penalties on this track, as Bazza has a bit of a look at the inside of Pete. He's definitely in the slipstream now as they race their way down this back straight, waving to the crowd as they go. Let's jump on board with Bazza. So which way is he going to go? Is Pete going to defend this as we go down the hill towards the chicane? Bazza gets his car on the inside. Now it is a race down into this chicane, as I say, so hard on the brakes. Are they gone side by side? No, I think Pete just gave that one up, although Bazza didn't quite get the exit right. And there we go, Pete has got himself on the inside into the final turn, so across the line they go, and Pete retakes fourth. So all the hard work that Bazza put in to get into P4 has just been undone. Just a bad exit out of the chicane is what cost him, but still going though. So Bazza in fifth, then chasing Pete down. Just ahead of them is Frowney in P3. Viking still in sixth. Then we've got Aussie Rooster. Ooh, just getting a little bit out of shape there, wasn't he, at the bottom of the S's into turn 5. Dizzy Rip in 8th. Thingamajig in 9th still. Then Enzo Jack, Phaser and DB. So the fastest lap a 1:24.8, and DB's doing 1:27, so about 3 seconds off the pace at the minute is DB. Try and find a battle. It's everybody's pretty spread out at the minute. Pete looks like he is gaining on Franny. In fact, he's actually got by. So he used the slipstream really well, did Pete. Pete now moves up into third, with Frowney having to slot in behind him on fourth. And once you're on that back straight and you somebody gets a slipstream on you, there's not much you can do about it. You can try and defend the corner, but if they get close enough, they're getting the move done before they even get down to the chicane, and that's probably what's happened there as Pete went by Frowney. Bazza also looking to do the same thing on Frowney as they come down to the bottom of the S's. And through turn 5, it'll be Bazza that we're trying to get as close as he can to Frowney in front. So there we go through turn 5, and it's all about the exit on that turn as well. You drift too far to the right and it's a penalty, but if you get the corner right, you can actually get right up the chuff of the car in front. Same with turn 7 just here. So Bazza, he'll be looking for a good exit to get in the slipstream. Now the unfortunate thing for Bazza is Frowney's going to be picking up the slipstream of Pete in front of him, so Pete's got some defending to do now as Frowney closes down on him using the slipstream well, but I'm not sure he's going to get close enough as they come down the hill into the braking zone and into the chicane. And no, Frowney couldn't quite get it done. He's got a lot closer, as is Bazza. Bazza right up there as well. So we will go down the path. Well, we're just going to stay with Frowney, because I thought he was just going to throw in a challenge at Pete then as we went round turn 12 and across the line, and he still might, heading down towards turn 1. No, Pete just managing to hold on. So let's just see if we can find any other battles. Oh, and Dizzy Rip and Thingamajig now at it. So Thingamajig up to 8th. He's actually flying, isn't he? Into turn 1. Thingamajig, he was in 9th. Well, last time we saw him, he's made up 2 places. Up into 7th as we go through turns 2 and then start on down through the S's, and Thingamajig will hold on to 7th. Just got to be careful as we get to the bottom here at turn 5 as Dizzy Rip, Enzo Jack go through. So yeah, great racing here. We missed the overtake from Thingamajig. It must have been on the back straight, which is where it all seems to be happening. But Thingamajig now up to 7th. He's going to try and shake them 2 off, but like I say, once they're in the slipstream, there's not much you can do about it. He's just got to hope, I think, that Enzo Jack starts to challenge Dizzy Rip, which will allow Thingamajig to get away, but Dizzy Rip is tucked right up underneath, isn't he, of Thingamajig's rear spoiler, and he's not going to stay there for long as he pulls to what will be the outside as they come down the hill into the chicane. And I think Dizzy Rip has just about done it. Oh no, he's off onto the kitty litter, then onto the grass. Now then, what's happened to Thingamajig? He's gone through, Enzo Jack has gone through, and poor old Dizzy. Let's have a look at that again, because we did sort of miss the overtake. So Thingamajig was on the inside. The move was done by Dizzy Rip. Off onto the gravel, and Thingamajig and Enzo Jack just carried on through. Enzo Jack then starts to attack Thingamajig as they go through turn 12. Thingamajig trying to defend it. Oh, getting on the grass. He just manages to keep some of the wheels on the tarmac, but Enzo Jack now at the inside. These two still side by side. Oh, get off. Thingamajig has gone off onto the grass. Come on, mate, get back onto the tarmac. And he is, he's back on. Did well to keep that pointing in the right direction. Got to get them tyres cleaned. There was a bit of a touchy-feely moment there from the two of them, as Thingamajig runs a bit wide into turn 12. Then the race is on down towards turn 1. Was that I don't know. There was no contact there, but a bit of a late move from Enzo Jack, I thought. May have put Thingamajig off, but Thingamajig managed to get the car back on the tarmac, facing the right way, so he's still going. Now he's got Dizzy Rip chasing him down. He's losing sight of Enzo Jack up ahead. Unfortunately, they were having a great battle as well, weren't they? With DB down in 11th and Viking down in 12th. And what happened to Viking? Excuse me. So either Vikings had a big old moment or a big old penalty, but he's now finding himself down in 12th. Oh, and he's picked up another half a second, so it's gone from bad to worse for Viking. That is really unfortunate for him. So he's going to lose a bit of ground on DB, even more. So back up to our race leader, who's really looking to open up a bit of a lead. Where's Scott? Let's just see if we can see him in the background. As Harry Poppins goes around turn 3 down into the S's. And then turn 5 at the bottom. I'm just having a look in the background, see if I can see Scott. But Harry Poppins looking comfortable at the minute. Clocking up the fastest laps again, a 1:24.5. The current fastest lap, which is what he's just done on lap 10, so he's not sparing the horses, is he, Harry Poppins? 18 laps, so 7 to go, including this one. Scott, he's looking comfortable in second. He won't mind that. Of course, he would dearly love to get into P1, but he'll take P2. Peter, he is currently sitting in third, and there we can see Frowner and Bazzi. So this is where the battle's happening between Frowny and Bazza for fourth. Frowny on the inside. Bazza, if he wants this, he's going to have to go the long way round. He will be on the inside as they come into the second part of the chicane. Fantastic racing between those two. All nice and clean, both still on the tarmac. Great move from Bazza to get himself up into fourth. But Frowny not letting it go. He's sticking like glue. It's almost as if there's a tow rope between the two of them. And Bazza into turn 1. No room for Frowny to make a move on him yet, so he's just staying with Bazza. Look, they are absolutely glued to each other. Just up ahead, Pete, he's going to get pulled in if he's not careful while these two are battling. Pete really needs to be getting his foot down to try and get some distance between them, but it looks like these two are catching up. So this battling is actually doing them a bit of good because they're reeling Pete in. Oh, and Bazza has picked a penalty up Frowny. I know what he's doing in that car. He's having a big old grin on his face and maybe even a chuckle to himself. because he knows he is going to take that fourth position away from Bazza now. He's just got to sit there and wait for him to serve it. Bazza will ghost and then Frowney will go through. No, in fact, he does pull round. And there we go. Touch of the brakes from Bazza to serve the penalty, and Frowner carries on through. And he'll probably get a couple of car lengths gap between himself and Bazza now, just for the momentum. Into the chicane they go. So Frowney now off after Pete. So Pete was sitting okay and comfortable in P3, but Frowney on a mission now. Let's have a look, see what everybody else is doing. Aussie Rooster in 6. Well, he's on his own, isn't he? Look, who's the nearest to him? Enzo Jack in 7th. Enzo Jack doing a good job actually of getting back into this race after that issue he had in the early laps. So got himself back up to 7th. Thingamajig in 8th. He's looking like he's on his own as well. Nearest to him is Dizzy Rip, and there's a bit of a gap between them, as you can see from that shot then. Baser in 10th, DB 11th, and Boro Viking down in 12th, although he is doing his best to catch up with DB. You can just about see him, I think, when he gets on the straight. So he's got something to aim for. It's very difficult when you can't see other cars on track. You've got no real nothing to aim at. If that's the right terminology, I don't know. I need a quick swig of juice. So Harry out on his own, then Scott, then Pete. Well, now we've got a battle going on. Now we have got a battle. Frowney's caught up with Pete and has took him. He's now gone. So Frowney moves up into P3. Bazza also challenging Pete as well. So Pete getting swamped a little bit here. So Pete, he's fighting back. Where is he? There he is. Let's jump on board with Pete. As Frowney made that move on him as we came through turn 12, so Frowney up into 3rd, Pete in 4th, and then Bazza in 5th. And if we stick with Pete, who's sandwiched in between the two of them, a good exit, a fantastic exit out of turn 5 for Bazza, and Bazza on the outside. So a bit of defending to do for Pete this time while he's trying to catch up with Frowney. Bazza is all over him, isn't he? Again, all about the exits, and it looks like both Pete and Bazza managed to get a good exit, which is what Pete needed. He needs to get into the slipstream of Frowney to try and prevent the overtake from Bazza. Bazza almost getting a double slip actually from the both of them as they now head down the hill towards the chicane again. Bazza on the inside this time. Oh, another great move from Bazza. He's really got that down to a T, hasn't he? That move, he did exactly the same before a couple of laps ago, and fantastic overtake from Bazza to move up into 4th. Great clean racing. Peter did well as well not to run into the back of Bazza or take him out, so brilliant racing between these guys, and it is all changed. But while those two were battling away, Frowney has opened up just a very small gap between himself and Bazza. The front two, Harry Poppins and Scott, have long gone, and I don't think they're going to be seen again by any of these guys. But Frowney is in a bit of a fight to hold on to P3. Bazza, great move at the chicane to get up into P4, and well, he'd love to do the same thing, wouldn't he, to Frowney and get on that podium. Pete hasn't finished yet though. He's not giving this one up. Let's just have a look down the order and see if there are any other battles going on. Aussie Rooster in 6, Enzo in 7, Thingamajig in 8, Dizzy Rip, then Phaser. Viking has made his way up into 11, so he's got by DB, and DB down in 12th. So we shall have a look and see what's happening then in this fight for the podium, and Frowney's just holding on to it at the minute. You can see the lights starting to fade. The headlights have come on the cars, so it is getting a little bit later on in the day. Now we do have another race for you after this, and it is a bit later on in the day, so when the guys have finished this, they'll go off and have something to eat and a cup of tea, and they'll be back out again this evening, so join us for that. Another 18 laps around Road Atlanta, but it will be dark, which makes it all the more fun as we follow Frowney and Bazza. Now Bazza just managed to shake off Pete a little bit now, so a couple of car lengths gap between these guys now. So really it is Bazza who's after Frowney. I think this is where the next fight's going to be, if he can get within the slipstream. He's not that far out, is he, actually? Now then, we are on lap 16, so we've got 2 more laps to go, and Bazza is getting closer and closer to Frowney, so this could be a good run in to the end of the race if Bazza can just make up that little gap between himself and Frowney. Frowney on the other hand will obviously be looking to try and pull away, so it is definitely not time to be making mistakes and picking up penalties. Peter is well, he's there, but he's just losing touch of the guys in front now as Bazza seems to get closer and closer to Frowney. Like I say, they're both going to be very conscious of the penalty systems, and they do not want to fall foul of that. Through the S's they go into turn 5 for the 17th time. 1 more lap to go after this one. Down towards turn 6, the first of these right-handers, almost one big hairpin. Now Bazza knows he's running out of laps. Now is he in the slipstream? We will have a look and see if anything is happening anywhere else. Enzo Jack is chasing Aussie Rooster down. And I think he is in the slipstream actually, Enzo Jack, so I don't think he's going to be able to make a move this lap, but he may be eyeing one up for the next one if he can stay close enough. Thingamajig in 8th, he's got Dizzy Rip for company. As Dizzy Rip has a look at the inside of Thingamajig coming down into the chicane. Oh, bit of a door bump there, but both still going, nothing too serious, and Dizzy Rip manages to make it stick, or does he? Thingamajig is still on the inside through the final turn, and across the line they go, and Dizzy Rip makes it stick. What a great move that was from him. That seems to be the place to do the overtaking then as they hit that chicane. So Dizzy Rip now up into 8th position, and Thingamajig, oh, and Thingamajig, where are you going? The grass does not need cutting, leave it alone. Get back on the tarmac and do the racing. Let the groundsman sort the grass out. Phaser in 10th, Viking 11th at DB 12. Let's go back up and see what's happening. Well, Harry Poppins has gone, he's off and about finished. He's coming up to the chicane now. He's concentrating on those tuna fish sandwiches, I think. He just wants this race over with so he can get in and get something to eat. I don't know if it's tuna fish, it could be cheese and pickle or something, I don't know. But Harry Poppins across the line, fantastic win for him. Look at the gap he's got back to Scott. Scott, though, he'll be pleased with that. P2 for him. Frowney, after a good, tight, hard-fought battle, will cross the line to take 3rd. And well deserved for him. Bazza in 4th. Pete is going to come across the line in 5th. Then we've got Aussie Rooster being pushed a lot by Enzo Jack in 7th. Great finish for them too. Dizzy Rip, he will come across the line in 8th. Closely followed by Thingamajig in 9th. Phaser's going to cross the line in 10th with Viking 11th. And DB will be finishing in 12th. So that was race 1. We do have one more lined up for you straight after this, so please come back, get yourself a drink, and some popcorn or whatever it is you want to grab, and we'll see you shortly for race 2.